All right, welcome one, welcome all to the second iteration of the PSN bracket of the Intertwining Fates Cram Session Extend. We are here today with a plentiful amount of fantastic players, and I am looking forward to seeing every single one of them. With a renewed invigoration, this is going to be one hell of a bracket. But to hold down a bracket and to make sure that it goes as smoothly as possible, I've got a lot of people with me today, and in order to do so, I have to go ahead and introduce them to you. So, with that being said, welcome E30 and Dave to the mics. How you both doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me. Feels like Groundhog's Day. It was just not even 24 hours, and we're back in BB Tag. Love to see it.
Yeah, feeling excited. I'm back from the embargo upon me for these brackets, but I'm glad to be here and I'm glad to be of service. And it's I'm excited because I believe Dave and I have commentated a couple of Grand Blue before, but this is our first time BB Tag. But getting right into it, Cromat versus Greek Sniper.
I'm not rocking the hard Adachi. We have a couple of those, right? We saw Troggz is also signed up for the bracket tonight, and they also play a hard Adachi, but I think they've been more on another team at the moment. But kind of see how they play it out, picking the hide color, and then we got the less represented Ruby characters on player 2 side.
Yeah, Greek Sniper was someone that entered the first beginner bracket tournament for PSN, so it's nice to see them back, and we get to see them on screen this time. So I'm excited on what they're going to do here.
Absolutely. And it looks like, Greek's doing a really good job of kind of challenging the heart pressure of the box strings, and going for low too, trying to break out of the armor and challenge any sort of homing attempts too. But right now, Greek Sniper able to call it the homing dash again.
Yeah, looking good. A little bit of reset back to neutral with the burst, but unfortunately not a confirm on the counter hit 5-8, but they're just kind of swinging for the fences right now. A lot of drops, but a nice little burst will bring back a reset to neutral, but Cromat just taking the offensive again.
Right now, Greek forced to block this BZO and does get hit low. Cromat going for the extended conversion off of that and gonna spend the cash. You can only have 5 meter at a time, so spend it a little bit. Try to get the kill. This is a single hit DHC too, and that's gonna be enough to knock out the Neo.
All up to Solo Weiss this time, but unfortunately getting opened up with the AZO. I'm able to get the confirm, but another reset. Just trying to loop it as much as possible into a BZO says the pressure's on, looking good. But unfortunately, the grab will open them up, and it looks like game 1 going to Cromat.
Good awareness too on Greek to block high after the BZO setup, recognizing, okay, I got opened up low. They're probably going to change it up to see if I'm aware of being option changed, and then just that continual heart pressure is really hard to deal with at times. But going up 1-0 in the series for Cromat, really strong start, good pressure all around. Zio's obviously a very strong tool in this matchup, especially for characters that maybe don't have potential zoning. Neo does have the teleport though, so that could be a factor.
Yeah, I feel like with the way Greek Sniper's team works, or Greekdude, I feel like especially with Neo, they can just try and force their way in and just get a good vortex going. It's a death by 1,000 paper cut for that character, but we'll see if they can navigate around some of these offensive habits of Cromat.
But right now, Cromat finding that happy birthday and good stabilization. You know, Art's combos not necessarily too friendly to happy birthdays, but able to find the hit and putting both characters down to about half life. Going for the clashes, but unfortunately not infinite armor. And now Greek able to take a turn back, taking this corner.
Shifting them out of the corner, but still looking in a good position, but the pressure's back on with that 6P. No homing to get out of that situation, but a very healthy Weiss is coming in, but just gets counter hit, and Cromat just taking their turn right back.
Good utilization of that pressure with the homing dash, able to block these lows and just continuing this reset into jumping. Good thing too Greek has going is has some pretty good aerial buttons to challenge Heart in the air, but the throw into the super is going to be enough to take out the Weiss.
Excellent work and excellent navigation. I'd say there's a crack in the armor with Greekdude at the moment. With all these grabs lighting so far. Looking good so far. We get to open up this time. Yeah, just vary the options a bit more. And Cromat already on set point of 2 games.
Yeah, similar ending to able to set up that BZO checkmate, going for the mix, and just not able to hang in there. Obviously, you know, Neo not the strongest character at level 1 resonance. You want more meter. You want your partner, of course, and want to be able to challenge somebody as aggressive as Heart. You do have the option to go for your command grab super. It is silent, of course, and does catch some of the homing opportunities. But you know, maybe Cromat's a little bit more aware of that.
Wasn't really believing in the Neo, interestingly enough. I feel like Neo was the one putting in more work than the Weiss between the two, but I'm guessing they feel a little more comfortable on the Makoto going into this team, so let's see what they can do with this character swap.
Yeah, you know, Makoto does have a little bit more range. He has the Fireball, of course. You know, Weiss has bigger buttons too, so maybe just kind of believing in challenging those. We didn't really get to see the teleport options from Neo, of course, but believing in the Makoto choice instead. Another character that we don't really see all that often, right? Initially kind of started off as a weaker character, but Makoto does have results, so we'll see if this is going to be enough to reverse it.
Unfortunately, not looking too good for Greekdude at the moment. Put back in this BZO setup right now, but thankfully had enough time to block afterwards, but just setting up a wall right now and gets cut by the BZO.
Yeah, you know, good awareness too to hit the Heart while it's recovering from assist to just prevent that BZO pressure from continuing. And right now, Greek just trying to snipe this Heart, but Cromat able to avoid any sort of pressure. That 5-5 is strong, but a burst able to call out this is punish.
Yeah, some excellent navigation by Cromat. They kind of noticed that, yeah, Makoto does have a fireball that can control some space in my approach, and just just made a really good call to jump over. So really nice awareness. But just getting sniped out. Unfortunately, burst does not come out, or burst doesn't go punish. Still trying to keep the pressure up.
Yeah, you know, Greek was going for the jump and maybe just a little bit too early for that burst to come in and try to block it, try to finish up the combo. But right now, Greek is definitely in the life lead right now. Cromat does have the Zeo, of course, available to kind of challenge any sort of assist approach. Oh, and just a throw into super. And again, that's going to be a dead Makoto this time. We're down to Weiss, but pretty healthy. Has some options available, but getting caught by the assist call in. Uh-oh.
A little bit of a pickup, it seems like, but things are stabilizing here. Greekdude has one more chance, but unfortunately gets opened up by the grab, and Cromat will be taking it 3-0.
You know, very front-loaded team from Cromat using the hard aggression to really good success, right? Being able to implement the strike throw, mixing high-low options a whole bunch of times, and, you know, utilizing the Zeo pressure too. Like, it's so hard to deal with that with characters if you're not ready for it. If you don't have, like, a parry or some sort of way to snipe out the Adachi. So, you know, Cromat going to be going up 3-0. Greekdude, of course, you know, good run, not quite out of it yet. Going to be moving on to our next match coming up here shortly. I believe we have Advent and Khaleesi, is that right?
It looks like actually we see sequence of numbers in the lobby, and that's Fish Liquor. So looks like we're going to be moving a little. We might be moving a little bit to the winner's side. Winner's quarters finals in the bracket, where Fish Liquor will be going up against Lucky Naegi, I imagine.
My goodness. Okay, so I was talking about this last night, and I was talking about it before the stream started. I am so excited to see Fish Liquor play. I've seen this name so many times come up in bracket or WNF and other online events, and it's time. We know Fish Liquor is checked in too, right? So, oh my goodness, and they play such a cool team. Such a cool team.
Fish Liquor is the one that plays Blake Yang. They've been showing a lot of proficiency with it. I remember them showing it to quite a few WNF brackets in the past, and you know the chances where I get to watch them, they have been making a really nice improvement with both of both of their characters. So I'm excited to see if they'll be able to shine a bit better in these beginner brackets.
And we've seen all the Ruby characters except for Ruby herself, which is kind of interesting. Especially with Neo being not nearly as popular, but we're going right into it. The command grab able to hit initially. Big start here.
Doing another BZO setup, and Akatsuki is a team that facilitates that. I feel like it facilitates a little better, but good awareness and good reaction by Lucky Naegi so far, taking Fish Licker to the corner and just trying to get some pressure going here.
Able to avoid the pinwheel this time and finding the Tatsu loops. Akatsuki, being able to get tagged out here and setting up the command grab safe jump here. And a DP able to answer out.
Trying to slowly make their way in. Yang isn't looking too healthy right now, but gets put in semblance. Oh no. Yeah, that's going to be a punish on the 5AA right there. Just a little, unfortunately, time space on the 5A right there, but still looking good in semblance. Yang looking pretty strong, but probably needs to get them out if they want to keep them alive here.
Yeah, not a lot of meter available to cash out too, so just it's better to get the Blake out using the DP to escape. But Lucky's doing a good job of challenging the firecrackers too with the parry, and now we've got Adachi back on the field. CO is a factor.
Fish Licker doing a good job at just keeping the pressure up and getting a nice combo. Unfortunately, looks like they maybe try to get a dash up 5 into super, but unfortunately didn't work out. And I think with the life totals, that was definitely a moment where you just gotta choose which character you want to die, and it looks like Fish Licker is going to decide on putting all their chips onto Blake in this first game.
Finding the parry, safe option in on the incoming, and just letting the parries rip, recognizing that Blake doesn't have a whole lot of options to get in. She does have bigger buttons too. Gunshot being a mid on active switch is kind of goofy, but finding the throw anyways and getting these hits. Level 4 resonance, so has plenty of meter to get things going, but back out in the life lead too, no less.
Yeah, Fish Licker doing pretty good at mounting this comeback right now, getting a nice counter hit. And oh no, I'd imagine that's some misinput. I don't imagine they wanted that, especially with how high Akatsuki was.
Yeah, it's tricky, right? Because Akatsuki does have the JC and is able to kind of fast fall and start an approach there, especially after a burst like that. So maybe trying to predict something like that. But it is a little tricky, and in that 2v1 scenario, sometimes just those issues happen. But like Naegi, first game.
Looking pretty solid. We didn't have too much of a discussion about Lucky Naegi, but they do show up quite a bit often to other brackets like Big 8 and WNF, so it's nice to see them here as well.
Starting off with the meter DP, I like that option. Just starting the aggression out really strong with this mix. Of course, Akatsuki has smaller buttons too, so forced to kind of respect and try to parry their way in against this Blake.
They can effectively just kind of parry their way in from these walls that they put up in. Starting to get some pressure going here. Unfortunate drop in the corner, but that's not going to deter Naegi from maintaining that pressure. Slowly pushing to the mid screen, almost to the other side of the screen, but this gets opened up right here, and Seagulls Fish Licker getting a chance to get things started.
Fortunate drop there and not quite able to get punished there either. Fish Licker just trying to navigate this neutral a little bit. Using the armor is always good. You get closer to your win condition of burning up and trying to make things happen. Oh, that's so much armor spent too.
Looking good so far. Getting the Akatsuki and letting that Adachi heal, because that is a lot of red health being healed up right now. And it's just life tolls are slightly in Lucky Naegi's favor, and now in Fish Licker's favor, but still looking good so far. Not going to be a dead Akatsuki just yet, but definitely I feel like with the right stars, it's a one-touch situation across the board for everyone.
Fish Licker finding the hit on the jump in there, but Adachi still has green life, has 4 meters, so you have to imagine they're going to be cashing out here pretty soon. There's one, kills the Blade, but gonna get punished here anyways.
Oh no, unfortunate drop in. Lucky just wakes up and chooses violence and is going to run to the hills with a game 2.
I almost feel like if it was just like a little bit higher, you would have been able to link the jab off that DP, and I would have lost my mind.
Yeah, but that's a combo that that Fishlicker was trying to go for, I believe.
Yeah, I think just a little spacing dependent. It's always tricky, especially in those clutch moments where, hey, if you goof it up, you're dead. And just like that, Lucky Naegi's like, all right, 2-0, no problem, I'll take that.
Yep. Yeah, hopefully Fishlicker isn't too deterred by what just happened and can just lock in and take a couple games on the board, because these games that have been played so far, by no means a blowout. So hopefully they're able to make something happen here in this game 3.
There's the parries against the gunshot, but yeah, unfortunately just too far away, so the follow-up doesn't come out, and Punish Blake and able to get a combo going here. And this is a DP punish too, so it can't burst out.
I like what they're doing here. They're showcasing that when they get a knockdown and a solid combo going, they do have the Oki on block. But unfortunately, getting opened up here, and oh my god, it's so unfortunate for Blake.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, having to spend that 2 meter just to call out a normal or a special is really tricky. But Adachi pretty close to death here. Cross rate's gonna be enough to take him out. Now we're down to Akatsuki pretty early into the game too.
Level 2 Resident's not going to get a lot of health back, especially because they didn't have a lot of red health to begin with. And nice conversion and nice pickup off of that just straight hit on the JA, but unfortunately a drop right there. But it's still not looking good for Lucky Naegi Akatsuki, and not current just quite yet, but now it'll be current. Fishlicker taking it back in a pretty convincing manner, showing that they're not out of this by any means.
Starting to lock in, recognize some of the opponent's tendencies and call things out. Having some opportunities to just go for some funny resets into the pressure, and catching their opponent thinking, oh, it's my turn. Oh no, I got counter hit this time, or going for the throw reset. Good pressure and just making the most out of those resets, super critical. And maybe we're going to be tying it up here, but I have to imagine Lucky Naegi wants to take it 3-1 as quick as possible. So we'll have to see in this game 4.
Yeah, I can imagine they, Fishlicker smells some blood in the water, and it's just going to try and ride this momentum as much as possible. But their back is still against the wall, because they still got to win 2 games compared to Lucky Naegi beating just 1. So on the winner side of this bracket.
Right now, Lucky's looking pretty good. Able to punish the burst, too. Super critical. Finding these fun 8 Tatsu routes, too. Getting the full confirm into the soft knockdown.
Oh, unfortunately, mistimed DP and a punish accordingly. I don't think that'll be curtains just yet. Yeah, just doesn't have enough to cross gauge, but actually, I think, I'll place my bets. Yang's a big girl. She's 18k. She's lit.
I think just barely, so gotta make a big guess here. Figure out how to get Blake in safely. Oh, I burn is definitely a good start, though.
Thankfully, Akatsuki doesn't have a traditional DP, so isn't able to really capitalize off of like a jump on a block BZO. But same goes to numbers, pretty unfazed by the entire situation. Still has Blake, so they're chilling right now, and slowly trying to mount some damage on the board right now.
Yep, good tech there too from Fishlicker. After that 6P, it's super critical. Just trying to find a way to win this neutral, call out these Adachi callouts, and finding this hit is always critical, but we're just kind of going back to neutral, playing this out. Definitely favored in Adachi though with that Azio, gotta be worried about it.
Good call out on the super. Yeah, just wanted to get out of that scramble situation as much as possible, but still not looking too good for Fishlicker. But I mean, the life totals are starting to slowly even out. Has to block the BZO, just pressure's on, and unfortunately losing the Blake here. All to solo, yay, but just gets opened up by the BZO or JB.
Such an impressive button too. Maybe thought that they weren't burning yet and they'd have that opportunity to pause it out, but Lucky Naegi gonna be moving on 3-1 in a pretty clear fashion there in that game 4. Just really able to utilize a lot of the strengths of Adachi and the Katsu calls too. Like you mentioned, they don't have a traditional DP, so don't have to worry about the BZO unblockable, but still have to worry about the high-low mix and that pressure associated. When I play that team, I love doing run up 5C just for that free chip out, and threatening that is always a valid option.
Yeah, it's a team that facilitates Akatsuki pretty well, and Adachi is a character in this game, arguably one of, if not the strongest character in the game. Just being able to facilitate so much in this game for like basically any character. So, solid team nonetheless. But yeah, we'll be moving on. And it looks like up next we're staying in the winners quarters finals, and looks like we'll be having Kizzsu versus Advent.
Advent, it was able to take it 3-0 over Khaleesi too. So be curious to see how that playstyle goes into Kizzsu. Obviously, both strong players in their own right. Winner this will be moving on to fight Troggz, who able to escape winner's quarters pretty relatively safely. And we'll see how things are moving along here.
Yep. Also, yeah, Advent of Chaos, a new face to this bracket. Looks like they're running with the Susano'o Yumi, a very impressive team, and has a lot of damage and a lot of potential on the board. But Kizzsu, I believe they got third last beginner PSN bracket, and they were kind of the fan favorite of the night because they, someone new to us, new to like the intertwining fate scene, and they just pulled up with a pretty unique team, a team that we haven't seen in a while. They were running Yuzuriha Orie, a team that was popularized by Shige back in the day. So I'm curious to see if they maybe found a new team or maybe they're just sticking with it. Let's see how they do against someone who is completely new to us in this bracket.
Yeah, that's quite the dichotomy of a matchup too, right? You mentioned Susano'o Yumi, just huge damage potential, able to reset with the ice, of course. You have the command grab starters. There's just a lot of ability to control the pace of the match and get things going. But Yuzuriha Orie is, another really kind of rare team, more mix-up oriented, a lower damage output, but hard to pin down at times. So we'll have to see how the Susano'o deals with the more air approach from Yuzuriha, and even Orie to an extent too. The JA, JBs are all very strong from her.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I feel like with these teams, it's one of them is just, oh, you're going to die in 2 touches if I get proper starter. And on the other hand, with Orie Yuzuriha, as you mentioned, pretty low damage team, but they are, especially Yuzuriha, can be really slippery, can wall, and Orie has some pretty long range buttons to just wall people out sometimes. But it's just a matter of, how do you want this to go? Do you want to kill someone in 2 touches, or do you want them to die by 1,000 paper cuts?
And it's comfort pick too, right? Luckily, BB Tag is a fun game where you can play a lot of different characters at a pretty confident level, and sometimes it's waifu picks. Sometimes you got to pick the character that you think is going to do the best at matching up. But looks like we do have Advent of Chaos joining the room here with this Susano'o Yumi locked in. So not gonna shy away from that team, of course, while we're waiting for looks like Kizzsu coming up.
Kizzsu coming up soon, but anyone tuning in, anyone tuning in a little late, thank you for tuning in. This is Cram Session Extend. There's a beginner bracket for the BB Tag scene hosted by Midori and the Intertwining Fates crew. It's for those that are maybe familiar with it, it's very similar to the way the Training Mode Network does things with the beginner/intermediate bracket. I think these things are really nice because, especially with how old the game is with BB Tag, it's, I want to say, was it like 7 years old at this point?
Yeah, 7, almost 8 years old now.
Yeah, so I can imagine, especially for someone that maybe just thought this game was really cool and they wanted to pick it up, it may be intimidating for brackets like the WNF or Big A because it doesn't matter where you go in some of those brackets, you're going to see some heavy hitters that just dominate some of these net play brackets. So it's really nice, especially for new player, because it's just, oh, I get to play on people that are potentially similar skill level, and you just, especially against someone especially against people that have maybe played this game for upwards of 7 years, it can be really demoralizing to just get blown out 3-0 both times in a bracket by someone that just has years of experience on it. So it's really nice to have this bracket, just a bunch of fresh faces. Some people we do recognize, but just they want that extra push to see how well they can do in a beginner setting, essentially.
Absolutely. Not only is it a great opportunity to play against people that maybe are you're more comfortable in that skill level, it's a good opportunity to meet those players and then get more games and find those training partners, right? Like I remember starting in BB Tag and playing with SoCal a bit, like post that first Evo in 2018, and just finding that community and saying, oh, let's get better, let's learn these matchups and stuff like that. So it's always cool to see, this game still thrive even after 7 years. I think it came out 2018, right? Yeah, 7 years. That's math. But that's kind of what community is for, right? You're able to reach out, get games, and always find a training partner or matchup advice. big shout outs to the Intertwining Fates Discord for organizing this and, you know, having that space for the players to meet and learn more about this game. I truly believe in my heart of hearts with all these tag games that are coming out in the future, like BB Tag is, you know, gonna have like a slight revival, right? You know, a lot of games, people say, oh, BB Tag is, or they're inspired by BB Tag. There's a lot of mechanics BB Tag has that these new tag games coming out with have. So, you know, stick with the game. You learn a lot of good fundamentals. We've seen strong players go from BB Tag to other strong games too, and compete at top levels. So it's definitely a great time to play BB Tag and a great time to learn the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I like remarking about BB Tag is just how wild and volatile this game is, to where, you know, there are some people that, you know, when they go to maybe a one-on-one game or just another tag game, they're kind of prepared. They just have that just fundamental preparation for some just wild stuff to happen in games that they transfer over to. Like, for example, you know, a game like Grand Blue, like there's some pretty wild like clashes that happen in BB Tag. But I've seen some BB Tag players when they see a clash in a game like Grand Blue, they're just ready for it. Like they've never seen this before, but they just hear the audio cue of the clash happen and that little slow mo, and they're like, "All right, I have an answer for this right away." It's just, this game can be wild, and it can be a boon and a bane. But I feel like with the success of some people that have overlapped into other communities, I'd say it's very much a boon to have some kind of fundamental ground in BB Tag.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing BB Tag at least taught me is like defense. Like I play Grand Blue a lot, and it is amazing to me how much easier it is to block in basically every other game except for BB Tag, because the mix is so oppressive with active switch and cross combo and whatnot. So those skills do transfer over, and they still are very valid. You know, some people say that tag skills are exclusive to just tag fighters, but no, you can definitely learn a lot from this game and play it for fun, or play it for serious, and compete in side events and still use those skills in more current games too.
Yeah, like I think in terms of like the tag fighters, you know, I feel like the two big ones out there, for me at least, are like BB Tag and like the Marvel series. But we'll get into that later. We finally got back Advent running the Susano'o Yumi and Kizzsu. I want to say, because they were the fan favorite last time running the Yuzuriha Orie, they're having a little bit of a villain arc by choosing one of the best users of the game with Adachi.
You know, rocking the Okada here. I'm all for it, man. If you got power, there's no more patches in the future. Use that power, right? You kind of need it against a team like Susano'o Yumi too.
Yeah, just kind of level the playing fields. You know, just this team, you can get a lot of success with it, and can set up a lot of pressure stuff as well. Just getting clipped right there, and Kizzsu already showing that they've learned a little bit about the team and is doing pretty well, getting the burst punish as well.
At burst punish, we saw an unblockable DP setup too off the jump in, and just a lot of challenges here. But Advent starting a little bit of pressure of their own with the Susano'o in the corner here. Kizzsu trying to find a way out, but gonna get clipped anyways.
Just letting most of that damage rock, but Narukami is in the red a little bit. Nice reaction on that. Command grab. Oh. Still not looking too good for both Narukami and Susano'o, but a BZO setup both come out, and Narukami is coming out to play again.
Finding that 5A, but again, just barely to escape the burst. Narukami very low on life, but it has that 3 meter to make something happen. Call it any sort of mistakes from Advent at full screen. Just going to go for the active switch and get out of there. Safe play. Adachi has full life, so plenty of life to spare here. Just like that, got to get clipped. Advent on the board here, trying to take some damage in.
Hopefully they get some momentum on the board, getting an assist. Just trying to keep the pressure up in a nice way by Kizzsu, and just wins the exchange afterwards. But fortunate drop right there, but still trying to find some pressure in the corner. But it looks like another BZO setup is probably coming their way.
Yeah, we mentioned it in the previous set, right? That, you know, Adachi BZO is a really strong setup, and especially now that we have you with the traditional DP, you can set up air unblockables, so you're forced to block, and that high-low is a lot stronger.
Nice reaction. Yeah, Kizzsu has been 2 for 2 on reacting to those command grabs, and I think that Advent of Chaos is going to have to think about the next couple of games and just realize, like, hey, maybe I need to vary my timing a little bit, or just find another way to just sneakily put a command grab in, because Kizzsu so far has been ready for it, like in the first game.
definitely on point. We mentioned that this game is very aggressive. There's a lot of dominant pressure. And we saw that with the cross combos and whatnot. So sometimes varying your pressure into button, do nothing is always really strong. We have seen that the DP was the answer to command grab both times. Maybe they're waiting for some sort of throw pressure bait. Obviously, the counter DP with Adachi is really strong in those scenarios. So trying to vary that timing, like you mentioned, or just go for a different option entirely. Try to just bait the DP, recognizing that it's happened twice now.
Hopefully they can make some adjustments because I did see Advent in the lobby quite a bit. Oh yeah, and look at that, just one button, nothing, and then caught Kizzsu flinching.
Yeah, and that is the best starter, right? We're almost at 10k here, top of a normal all, and just a little bit too early on the command grab, but Yumi finding the hits anyway.
And keep the pressure up and gets an active switch to JC. Nice stabilization, but a burst will be coming out, and Narukami's list to see another hit.
Again, just like game 1, 2, that BZO coming out, able to find the stabilization now too. Narukami's going to be able to do these corner combos. It's the cross slash, gonna set up a safe jump too, so you got to be ready for it.
Looking good so far, getting the Susano'o out, make sure he lives to see another day. Excellent go break by Kizzsu, and just, yeah, thankfully for Adachi, has a long enough button to contest after a go break, so able to just catch up at Yumi again and again. But looking good so far, nice DP by Kizzsu, just trying to make something happen.
Yeah, Kizzsu has had like very definitive answers in defense. Like, we've seen the DP against the command grab. We've seen throw tech 5B multiple times now, and now it's kind of on Advent to navigate. But maintaining this pressure is always a good start. Just try to blow out this Adachi here, but the defense regardless.
Trying to make something happen here and using that Susano'o 6P to snipe out something. Unfortunately, a little too late to catch out that 360 from Adachi, but slowly try and make something happen. And DP will be sealing the Adachi's fate.
Kizzsu in very dangerous scenario. No meter, has resonance available, is at level 4, so going to be getting meter quick, but just going for the quick oppression with the assist call and their Advent on the board, tying it up one apiece.
That's what Advent. Yeah, we're just seeing the just in one game, we're seeing the live adaptation of Advent so far. And that game by no means was it a blowout. It was very close. So I'm really excited to see the tug of war, the back and forth between both of these players, because it's already panning out to be a really interesting set.
Yeah, we even saw Kizzsu kind of adapt to Advent's delay pressure too. They got blown out once by that 5B, and then said, okay, wait, maybe I need to be a little bit more reactionary instead of canning my responses. And finding that DP right away is a good start to answer the sandwich situation, trying to make this pressure happen. But again, it's all mid, so you don't got to worry quite yet.
Playing more of a full screen game, trying to get their way in with the active switch snowbirds, but slowly making their way in, and just an unfortunate trade on that 2B right there. But just playing a little bit of a full screen neutral game, just trying to feel each other out, seeing who wants to approach and really start some pressure. And Kizzsu trying to make something happen here, but just still content on playing the full screen game.
Yeah, we're definitely starting to see a little bit more of that ranged play where we're trying to counter call the assists and call things out. Obviously, Kizzsu's team is a little bit more poised to do better to call out assists. They both have pretty strong projectiles. Susano'o 6P also really strong to blow through projectiles, but we do have Susano'o on point, so just going to have to deal with the Yumi Snowbird instead.
And just 3 for 3, Kizzsu's doing really good on reacting to those counter hit DPs. Just unfortunately not enough time to react to it, but just unfortunately no punish either, but everyone gets out kind of clean on there. I've been having to life at the moment.
And Narcom taking a little bit of damage, but again, they're in the back, so they have plenty of time to regen some of that health, try to make some positional advantage come back. That BZO, of course, very strong. Finds the double high this time, and this might be curtains for Yumi with the super. Absolutely. You're going to be down to Susano'o just left, but has plenty of life on the board. Level 4 resonance is still a factor, too.
Yeah, looking good so far. Has a good amount of red health to recover as well. So, yeah, good time to pop it. Full screen, just try and make their way in with some of Susano'o's big buttons. And at this point, honestly, it's a 2-touch game for Advent right now. 1-touch game, technically, and we'll see if they can keep the pressure up.
That threat of Astral is so scary to deal with too. Oh no, and just beats out the Persona, forcing Adachi to stay still and just smile for the camera. Advent gonna be going up 2-1 in this first of 3.
Really nice work by Advent, just kind of slowing things down, or at least forcing Kizzsu to slow things down with their pressure and the way they're trying to approach. Because Advent's been doing a really good job at just finding good opportunities to approach or just get maybe a good couple of taps with, you know, the Susano'o JB, really big button, 9-frame air normal, I believe, and yeah, just looking good. And Kizzsu has their back against the wall this time around.
Yeah, we've seen that adaptation to doing the delay pressure really strong. Seeing that Kizzsu has reactionary responses to pressure and waiting for their turn. So it's now kind of on Kizzsu to play this game of chicken. Like, oh, who's gonna press the button first? Who wants to get counter hit first?
Yeah. The Kizzsu starting off strong, realizing that their winner side of the tournament is on the line here and getting a nice first bait as well. Just running for the fences with this pressure zone.
There too, able to answer that pressure, forcing this reset. Right now, Kizzsu really in a strong life lead right now, and just trying to play neutral to their advantage. They do have the characters to do it, but good awareness of that cross combo pressure.
It's looking really good for Kizzsu right now, getting a nice burst bait as well. Susano'o in a one-touch situation, pressure's on. Unfortunate little flub right there in terms of the pressure, but still looking good. Maybe trying to set up a BZO, but there's 2 meter on the board, so he's got to be careful.
But yeah, calling out the BZO with the super, but you know, able to escape here too. Adachi now taking some serious damage here. Able to go into the aerial rave too, not able to burst out, but not dead yet.
Really close. Getting opened up by the JC, but thankfully Adachi lives with the skin of his teeth. But Narukami will be hurting quite a bit. Not going to kill by any means, just a burst punish. Not a lot of meter on the board either, but oh no, a nice just bust out super with the Zio dying will be taking out the Susan.
You know, Yumi is still a very strong character, especially in this 2v1. Adachi is a team to try to fight it out, but they've been able to navigate these 2v1 cross combo pressure scenarios before, but you know, Kizzsu just respecting the block pressure. That 5A is super strong too, but able to DP out and start this aggression back.
Looking good. I think this is basically a two-touch situation. If Advent can get it, unfortunately, it was a little bit of an air starter, so not able to get them, but Narukami will be going down here. Off the solo Adachi, and now it's a bit in favor for Advent now.
Yeah,
but
Adachi
a lot of work.
Starting to get that cash back. Probably not quite enough to kill in one hit, but it does depend on the hit. And again, that J236C is causing a lot of trouble for Kizzsu, but able to find the hit anyways.
Looking good so far. I don't believe this is going to kill this quite yet, but it's definitely a one-touch situation and getting some Oki as well. So let's see if Advent is ready for it.
Yeah, but now we're setting up this disjoint there with the Persona, trying to call things out. EX Snowboard really strong, and Advent gonna be taking it 3-1 over Kizzsu. Gonna be moving on into winter semifinals.
Excellent work. Yeah, it's just Kizzsu did find a foothold in that last match, but unfortunately, Advent just staying really strong, just staying calm in that situation, especially when you're down a character. It's pretty rough. I know a lot of people insist on you have to maintain them 2v2 as much as possible, and I'm one of those people that agree with that general sentiment. But just Advent showing no fear, nerves of steel, able to take it 3-1 over Kizzsu. It's excellent work. They will be moving on to fight Troggz in winter semis.
And of course, you know, Kizzsu not out of it yet, of course. Gonna be moving on. It is double elimination, of course, right? So single elimination, those were dark times, right? I think I've only played in one single elimination BB tag tournament, and nightmare fuel. But you know, we're moving on here. We got a little updates here. SSBSonic was able to take it over Cromat 3-1. Gonna be fighting Lucky Naegi, who we did see on stream. And yeah, in terms of that, looks like Fish Liquor also beat Khaleesi in losers round 1. Gonna be fighting Cromat.
Yep. And yeah, it looks like match that's upcoming right now is going to SSBSonic versus Lucky Naegi. We haven't seen SSBSonic yet, but they did get second in the last beginner bracket, so looking to get some redemption here, and poised to do it pretty well in this winter semis right now. It's Lucky Naegi. Definitely a tough customer to beat, especially with how much tenure they have on the board with joining so many WNFs and Big 8s, to say the least.
Oh, but looks like we got our players queued in. There's the Ruby. I've been looking for her for so long this tournament. All right, so we have all the Ruby reps now. And again, of course, Lucky Naegi with the Adachi Akatsuki, the gamer team, right?
Yeah. I'm really curious to see how this works because, like, the way SSBSonic plays is, I feel like very reminiscent of how E2 Deku is. Just likes to play pretty aggressive and also just overall has a really solid rotation on what to do with neutral and Oki. So I want to see if they're going to be able to employ it well against Lucky Naegi, or will Lucky Naegi just trample all over them, especially with this opening here.
Now, just kind of able to answer the initial scramble with the 5A. Able to get this challenge here with the parry too, calling out the assist. Very strong start, not quite enough to get the kill, but in semblance now. Of course, respect the gunshot pressure.
Be touching out in a sandwich situation, but Lucky Naegi saw SSB flinching, and it's all up to Soul Ruby now. It's definitely a character that can do it, but it's not looking too good right now.
Well, Ruby does have the buttons to get things done and just run up 5A to get things started, but right now Lucky Naegi able to get the hit back, has 5 meter. This should be a dead Ruby. We'll keep it simple with the meter extension right into super, and that's going to be game 1. Pretty convincing in life total to Lucky Naegi.
Yeah, unfortunately, SSBSonic wasn't able to get their footing too well, and just especially after that drop in the beginning and Lucky Naegi just waking up with violence, just able to just steamroll at the beginning. So hopefully, you know, this is kind of the, I'd say, I'm not going to call it fortunate or unfortunate. It's just a straight up reality of the situation with how volatile a game like BB Tag is. Those rounds are going to happen where it's just nothing goes your way and you just get blown out. And provided that it's not like set point for your opponent, just brush it off and move forward is I feel like one of the best advice I could give you, because it's just, you just gotta accept that it's gonna happen and just move forward and just pray that you'll do better the next matches.
Yeah, I mean, it happens definitely, and you know, with this round start 5C with the Marvelous too, lots of good damage to get things started. And it's just, you know, a matter of trying to navigate that neutral. Both these characters from Lucky Naegi have some pretty fast jabs too to deal with the pressure. So gonna be kind of on Yang to use that armor and using the better buttons from Ruby to get things going, but finding these hits.
Looking good. Life totals are about even. Sonic SSBSonic has Lucky in the corner. He's getting opened up with that JB there, and this is their time to party and showcase what they can do on offense.
It's trying to bait the DP, but yeah, just a little bit too early. Now got to hold some of this pressure here, but using the 1 meter there for the push block. Oh, and again, the parry, answering the gunshot. So smart from Lucky Naegi. We've seen them utilize that a couple times now. Find this hit and gonna be able to cash out into the second super duo and get the kill. We're down to Ruby yet again.
Yeah, definitely doable in a little bit of a more favorable positioning, especially with that level 4 resonance. You know, that's going to give you a lot better meter gain and a lot better health regen on red health. But unfortunately, Lucky getting that nice counter hit JB start, and it's not looking too good for SSBSonic right now.
That BZO in the air just to prevent Ruby from getting sort of funny mix going and keep the game grounded where Akatsuki wants it is always a good call. And now we're going to be setting up more good Oki here. Not quite enough to get the kill. Oh no, but the 5C spend the cash. That's a dead Ruby. 2-0, Lucky Naegi trying to speed run to this winner's finals side.
One of the things that's been really interesting about Lucky Naegi's plays, you know, as I mentioned, they do fall within the general realms of like I'd say an intermediate player, but I think it's just showcasing the difference in tenure, that they're ready for a lot of situations, like especially the Akatsuki just parrying that active switch gun blast and just punishing accordingly. And it doesn't look like SSBSonic was exactly ready for them, and just Lucky Naegi just being able to capitalize super well on them.
Absolutely, and you see too that Lucky Naegi is doing a lot of good pressure in the air, trying to prevent Ruby from getting in there and starting things going. Oh no, a happy birthday and good stabilization, recognizing the 5 BBB would lose that happy birthday opportunity. We got a lot of meter to cash out too.
Looking good, a little too early on that 5A and just going to get opened up with that 5B. Nice active switch, but unfortunately a little too late on the 5B right there. I get the pressure up, and Adachi been a pretty popular character. I just want to highlight that, you know, Ruby is one of the characters that can avoid the beat skill, but unfortunately, won't be seeing her anymore in this game so far.
Yeah, you know, this is the first time we've seen Solo Yang now is burning too, so that might be a factor, but unfortunate drop on the throw. Oh, the super in response to the armor, and that's going to be enough. Lucky Naegi, good awareness to kind of reset that flub. It's hard to punish at times too, but Lucky Naegi going to go up 3-0 versus SSBSonic. Moving on to winners finals.
Yep, securing their spot really nicely. Yeah, some excellent work, and like I said, you know, Lucky Naegi by no means a beginner, but I'd say they're a very tenured intermediate player. Showing to this bracket, kind of being the quote-unquote like shark of this bracket, just, you know, showcasing, hey, this is going to be some of the matches you will have against people in the future, and we just want to check if you're ready for it. And but yeah, fortunately for SSBSonic, they're not out of it just yet. Just moving down to the loose side of the bracket. Still can make a comeback happen, but we will be staying in the winter semis for a little bit longer. We'll be having Advent versus Troggz.
We got Troggz coming up from HCH. I am a little familiar with that organization. I believe this is the first time in a long time we've had a performance review too, so we'll see how Troggz navigates it. You know, looks like they are locking in the Akihiko Yuzu, and they've been playing this team a little bit more lately, as I've seen them in offline events and whatnot. Maybe the Heart try to hit their opponent with unfamiliarity, or just trying to play a little bit more stable with some pretty strong characters. Yuzu obviously nerfed from the previous patch, but still very strong, has that range, has teleport mix, and it's still very much a scary threat to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, with a team like Troggz, they do have a couple of teams in the pocket. You know, they are a member of HCH, so HCH is the homing Kent homies, a coalition of Heart players, if you will. So they do have a pocket of Heart, team up the Adachi, but they will be going with their main team this time with the Aki Yuzu. They also have an Aki Yumi as well, but I think it's pretty match dependent, and I think overall they like Yuzuriha more. So we'll see how they do against Advent, who had a really strong showing earlier, knocking out Kizzsu, who got third last time.
Yeah, and I think the Yuzu is also a good play into this matchup, right? You really don't want to slap with Susano'o too often, so having the bigger disjoint with the buttons and teleports is always good to have instead of pressure. And just like that, Advent getting this pressure going in the corner, but Troggz able to escape.
Looking good, getting some of the rotations going and a solid amount of damage on the board. Not breaking the throw, and Advent Susano'o not looking too great, and Troggz is looking good with the burst punish as well.
Unfortunate drop there, and just gonna get hit by the falling jump. Able to get this hit, has 5 meters, so yeah, we're gonna spend the cash to secure the corner and set up a potential kill option. Good block there on the JC. Into the throw again, not quite ready for it. The 5 cyclone stacks is gonna start being a factor.
Looking good so far, and yeah, that's a nice OD situation. I don't think we'll kill this quite yet, and yeah, Yumi gets away with the skin of their teeth, but still not looking too good for Advent right now. Getting that nice corkscrew with the 5P neutral skip, and it looks like they'll be losing soon. Oh, not quite.
Not quite. Yeah, Susano'o, the healthy boy, and just gonna start off the aggression in the corner there with the counter hit starter. Yuzuriha in a bit of trouble, has the 5-meter burst, is now an option though.
Looks like, yeah, Troggz will be choosing for the user to go down here, and at least to me, like the representative character of Troggz is Akihiko, and they've showcased this character is a threat even when you leave them alive. So let's see if Advent can navigate the storm, but it's not looking too good. That Susano'o going down, it just gets clipped low by the 2C, and Troggz getting the first game on the board.
You know, had that life lead, and it was right on Advent to block high, right? Apparently, Akihiko only has 1 low, and Troggz is aware of it and said, yeah, you know, let me let this rip, see what happens. I've got the meter to cancel into things. I can make things a little bit tricky with my my sway dash and try to cross up with the corkscrew, but, you know, good awareness of there for Troggz. Going to be taking the first game. We're queuing back up the same characters, believing in these teams.
Yeah. Let's see what kind of adjustments Advent can make, because, you know, I feel like this might be indicative of how their first set went, where they were able to just, you know, they got kind of tossed around during the first game, but second game is maybe where they start making those adjustments, trying to slow down the pace. Maybe we'll see what they can do in these opening moments. But a nice 5B anti-air from Troggz starting us off.
Again, Troggz playing it really well, recognizing Susano'o has to be the one to approach if they're on point. So just try to maintain that advantage with your slices and Rekka series. But, Advent able to find this hit. It's going to be a lot of damage coming up.
Maybe a nice Oki situation, going for the double overhead this time. Fortunately, Yumi wasn't active swap, didn't punish, but oh no, that could be a sign of smelling blood in the water. Troggz getting command grab right there. It's not looking too good for them right now in terms of health.
The duck corkscrew to switch sides and get the confirm. Troggz really starting to party here, trying to get something going and do reset, but Advent able to escape just barely with that DP. Uh-oh, happy birthday nearly avoided.
Oh no, a little too high for that super to connect, and it looks like Yuzu will be going down for that, but again, the character that Troggz was successful in that last game was Akihiko. Level 4 Resonance, not so much health to play around with this time, but hopefully they can make something happen here.
Getting hit by that, the 5P almost nearly saved them. Wasn't quite ready for the cross combo, but Advent able to clean it up, no problem. Tying up the score, 1 apiece. Like you mentioned, that health deficit, definitely a problem. Not having that meter, also a bit of a challenge to try to escape in any sort of meaningful way. But, Troggz not out of it yet.
It's 1-1, but and especially with how that game went, it was by no means a blowout either way. So there still is that tug of war, that effect going on between these two. Just slowly still trying to feel each other out and make something happen. Just try and see what kind of cracks in each other's armor that they have.
Lead right now, able to get this first cross combo, finding the land shark hit, but an unfortunate drop on that 5B, and now we're gonna start threatening the throw, but gonna go for the dive instead. Again, they're just both players able to navigate this pretty okay, but Troggz able to find these hits and starting more reset pressure.
Looking good so far. Yumi already in the red, getting a solid Oki situation, and a nice active switch to avoid the DP, and Yumi will be going down really early in the set. All the solo Susano'o, definitely doable, but it's not. Troggz is not going to make it easy with how they play.
The sandwich setup goes for the low, trying to reset pressure. We've seen Troggz go for it a couple times now, especially with Cyclone stacks, trying to reset into a level 5 starter is always tricky. But right now, Advent not making it easy for Troggz, putting all this pressure on with the Susano'o. Resonance is gone though, but has plenty of meter to get things going still.
It's like a little too early for the active switch, but will be getting opened up by the grab here. And Troggz taking it 2-1 and just really stabilized here. Like, if there's anything to go by with how the live tolls are, it's just Troggz was really able to just get their pressure going, trying to set the pace, like set the standard of how they want this match to go. And yeah, they're on set point, potentially on their way to winners finals.
Killing Yumi super early too off the Cyclone reset is always critical, right? If you can get rid of a character really quickly, Akihiko has certain ways to do it, especially, level 5 Cyclone off of a throw does like 9k sometimes for some reason. But Troggz looking to believe, saying, okay, I can maybe take this 3-1. Advent, of course, sticking with the main squeeze. Susano'o, Yumi, gonna see if they can change things up. A happy birthday's a good one to start it, though. Yeah,
and excellent stabilization from Advent so far. Looking good, but Troggz, excellent DP push, and just right back at you with the happy birthday there. Oh, and life toll looks like slightly in Troggz' favor, and they're going to run with as much as they can.
To the TK dive reset, but Yuzuriha able to save, has a lot of meter available, but not quite enough to get this kill. Oh wait, but we do have the assist coming in. Cross combo is an option now.
Fortunately, wasn't able to get enough meter to confirm, but unfortunately, Yumi is close to death here. And yeah, just trying to mix that up a little bit. Troggz has been going for the the side switch situation there, but unfortunately for them, stay on the same side and just caught Advent lacking right there.
DP bait from Troggz there, gonna be able to cash out a lot of damage. Doesn't have the assist to call it in to clean everything up. They're gonna be putting this pressure on, trying to TK dive, but gonna get killed in response. Advent still has a lot of damage available with this 7 meters.
Oh no, it just unfortunately couldn't thread the needle with that J2360 with Yuzu. I don't think they're dead for this.
if they... Okay, all right. What's the mix-up? Wake up, resonance, do nothing, some jabs. We tried to see the command grab happen, but nothing happening, and just like that, tying it up 2-2. Just able to thread the needle barely there against the slice.
Yeah, unfortunate little timing. Yeah, just Yuzu ideally would like to be in stance in a lot of situations, just because it changes her slashes and it improves the frame data of both her slashes and her teleport. So just being able to employ a lot of kind of nasty left rights and just being a really slippery character to catch in general, being in stance. And unfortunately, there are a couple of dead zones and just unfortunately didn't work out right there with that EX slash. But new game, final game here. Hopefully they're able to stabilize. But unfortunately, that nice up jump back into the JV will be putting them in a not very favorable situation, but nice navigation by Troggz so far.
And what Troggz has been doing a great job of, too, is just able to put the pressure where it's needed. You saw a couple times now where they've reset the teleport pressure, same side versus different side. But Advent has always been a little bit more beater positive, too, able to get these conversions to start spending a lot of cash when they need it. And right now, Troggz able to set up more pressure here, and Advent just barely able to escape.
Slowly trying to make something happen. Nice TK dive, but yeah, I'd say that's a very good time to get the Akihiko out. Just even with both characters, I feel like that would have been if they got a good start or a good tap. But again, Troggz staying on the same side, just trying to fake out Advent right there.
That 4A2 to challenge the teleport option, recognizing that teleport does have some initial startup there on the subsequent slashes, and able to find the super, just cashing out a little bit of damage. Every little bit helps. The health lead is about tied up, resources are about the same. Troggz has access to burst and cross combo, so that could be a deciding factor here.
So trying to make something happen, just gets clip low, and that should seal Yuzuriha's fate. Also saw Akihiko. This Akihiko did make a comeback earlier, so it could happen again. Troggz trying to slowly make something happen. Level 4 res is available to them, but this is a pretty high damage team, so it can get really explosive and just gets right to skin of their teeth, but gets opened up here. Not going to kill this fight yet because of the meter available, or have no meter available actually.
No cross combo available, so Troggz just live. Has to guess through one more series here. Oh, and DP's the JC, recognizing, okay, I got hit in the corner once. Am I going to get hit again? Nah, DP. 5C this time, says, I got an overhead for you. One more hit. Who's going to die first? Oh, no! Oh, and the DX corkscrew not ready for the left, right, and Troggz taking it with the skin of their teeth. 3-2, booking their ticket to winners finals. That was winners semis. I'm not ready for this. I am terrified to see what's going to happen in finals coming up here with the Troggz and Lucky Naegi. But, you know, we've still got some loser side matches to get through, too. Right? Kizzsu beating Greekdude 3-0. Fishlicker beating Cromat 3-2 in a nail biter, right? Advent's now going to be going on to fight Fishlicker. And we still got SSBSonic versus Kizzsu coming up, too. So that will be next year. And in terms of the performance evaluation, Troggz, you did pass. Your contract has been renewed, so good going there. Meantime, here again, you know, thank you everyone for tuning in to Entertaining Crate's Cram Session Extend. This is the second PlayStation Network beginner bracket here. It's always good to have new faces showing up and taking care of business, you know. It's BB Tag, it's all the game, but it checks out. A lot of newer games coming up here too are tag related, so if you want to kind of cut your teeth on the tag game, this is definitely a good one to get going with. But we are getting started here. Looks like we've got a couple players queued up. The SSBSonic rocking the Ruby Yang, and Kizzsu, of course, rocking the hater team Adachi.
Looking good so far, and yeah, let's see how. Honestly, both of these players just kind of adjust to each other because both of these teams are. Well, one of them is an evil winning team. The other one has shown a lot of success in being able to reach top 8. So we'll see how they're able to operate them and see how they can answer each other.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of they're similar, kind of Shoto, strong character, team comps, right? They're both related, I guess, in a sense that they both belong to the same series. But it's definitely more of the face of 1.0 versus the face of 2.0 at times.
Another nice cheeky little teleports behind you after the with the assist to cover it up. Kizzsu getting crossed up, but getting a good amount of damage on the board. Yang still out of semblance, but slowly trying to make their way in and let this Yang make something happen.
Using those persona disjoints, you want to keep the Yang away as far as possible. You gotta worry about that armor just like that. Finding a hit into the happy birthday. There should be a dead Yu with some additional catch up here on the Adachi. You hate to see that as Kizzsu so early in the round.
But if there's a character that can do it, Adachi is definitely capable, but unfortunately that grab starter will not be doing them any favors. I don't think they'll get the meter to be able to get a DHC to get actually, no, they will.
Good recognition too, using those buzzsaw loops just to build out the cash. You know, using the gun blast loops too, and that's gonna be the first game going to SSBSonic.
Really excellent work by SSBSonic. Just being able to control some of the pace of the match and not really be super deterred by a lot of the AZO space control that they're capable of it going into BZO setup. So able to just play offense super solid and super well, so where Kizzsu didn't really have a good opportunity to breathe a lot to just try and get some composure going and just taking it all the way. Let's see if Kizzsu can make some adjustments to kind of slow down that rush of offense that we saw at the tail end of that match.
You know, Narukami definitely has that power, right? Has the big normals, has like the seemingly infinite block strings with EXZO and whatnot. And Adachi has a lot of that pressure available too. Right now, getting this first hit in the throw, forced to respect his sandwich, has cross combo available, and gonna spend it.
Looking good, maintaining the pressure. Yang taking a decent amount of chip damage, but nothing too scary at the moment. With his armor suit, something on the 5B, yeah, just always got to be aware of some of those options. And this is where SSBSonic wants to be.
On these hits, a good DP, very risky, but another happy birthday, gonna be able to catch and start doing some damage, but lucky drop there from SSBSonic, making sure that the Ruby doesn't get killed, but gonna get picked off anyways.
Likely able to stay alive in cross up here, just using a lot of a plethora of Ruby's jump cancelable normals on block just to try and maintain pressure and just try and keep them out. But another happy birthday. Adachi won't be hurting as much, but unfortunately Narukami again will be going down in this.
You always gotta wonder how many overheads is it gonna be from Ruby's, a 1, 2, or 3, but it looks like the side switch is gonna be enough to get the opening. Kizzsu trying to figure out a way to navigate this. The throw this time has a lot of meter available, probably not enough to kill, but the bait so strong, and all of a sudden SSBSonic gonna be going up 2-0 versus Kizzsu.
Unfortunately, just caught them flinching, and I do believe this is respectively second and third place from the first PSN beginner bracket. So, you know, and it's looking like SSBSonic is slated to try and take one over against Kizzsu again. So hopefully they can stabilize, just stay a little composed, and get some of their really solid game plan they had going on earlier to maybe hopefully get their revenge.
I think Kizzsu just wants to play more games, right? Say, okay, SSBSonic, I'll let you have the first 2 because I want to do, you know, first 3 here, and that means you get 2 first. Ran off, kind of winning that first interaction too, but of course respect the Ruby pressure too from the gunshots.
Actually, a lot of these risky assist calls, but Kizzsu starting to get the pressure going. This is kind of indicative of how the first couple of matches went, where Kizzsu got some really nice stuff going at the beginning, but SSBSonic was able to just get a lot of offense started off afterwards, calling out the jump right there with the anti-air command grab. Still not looking too good right now. Again, the pressure, the momentum shift is looking so good in SSBSonic's favor right now.
It really just goes to show, you know, Yu does have that space control with the sword, but once you find the hit there with the Yang, it's a lot to deal with at times. Able to punish the burst this time off that throw. Kizzsu not out of it yet. Low life for Adachi here too, so gotta find a way to tag out safely.
little risky right there, but thankfully got away with the standard teeth. But unfortunately, the rush down is still oppressive and immense. All for Susano'o Kami here.
Oh, another happy birthday, big opportunity. Finds the hit and the kill on the Yang. Ruby now popping the resonance, level 4, has the ability to reversal out with the super, but you know, Kizzsu answering back with the resonance of their own.
Gonna pressure up level 4 resonance, so the chip is plentiful right now. But just, yeah, push blocking, not wanting to deal with that situation as much as they can. And a nice opening, but unfortunately the 5BB a little too far for that to connect. And life totals are about even right now. A little bit of a meter advantage on Sonic's end, but excellent push block. Not wanting to deal with that overhead. Not going to kill just quite yet, but a one-touch situation.
So tricky too from those full screen. That Persona pushing you so far away, but right now SSBSonic looking, trying to make a comeback here. Life deficit definitely not in their favor. Finds the tech though. Kizzsu staying alive.
Just trying to feel each other out, trying to make something happen. Plus frames available, and we're in Rampage time, so that's passive meter game for both sides. But oh my god, if that was like just even a frame later, I feel like Ruby would have landed. They were able to just punish that. But Kizzsu staying alive.
Such a deep DP. You know, it's air unblockable as soon as it comes out. You don't gotta wait until it's super late, man. Again, we just seen these nail biters back to back. We're not even in finals yet, you guys. Like, save this for nationals. But we're getting into it. Game 5 coming up here.
They're calling the 4P, but the air-to-air exchange gets hooked up by the high, and Kizzsu not ready for it this time. And Narakami already looking really close to being in the red.
Find a way. All this pressure super strong. It does bait the jump. Oh my goodness, that Yu's going down really quick. Not a good start for Kizzsu here if they want to survive in this game 4, it seems. But, you know, this Adachi pressure is always good too. And, you know, recognizing SSBSonic and just kind of chill out. Doesn't need to do anything too risky.
You know, just kind of let them just run into a wall there with that whip command grab. But just the pressure still on because the Yang 6P is pretty active. And Kizzsu backs against the wall. Only level 1 resonance, and I feel like at this point it's a one-touch situation after this combo, and they have to guess for their life.
Believe in the Kizzsu dream. I think they have everything they can. Able to jump the command grab this time. Good start. Burst is coming back here. But I have to imagine SSBSonic is happy with Yang taking the damage. It's not too much. Another throw coming up this time.
Yeah, just chose a really good time to burst, just trying to mitigate as much damage as possible, but that JC not ready for it, and SSBSonic maintaining the streak against Kizzsu. And we'll be moving on in the blue side of this bracket, and Kizzsu will be bowing out here, but excellent work by them, you know, making top 8. You know, some very, very solid work. And with the new team too, from last time we saw them.
It's true, yeah. You know, it's hard to learn some of those intricacies between two teams, especially playing two brand new characters, right? Obviously, Adachi and Narakami have some strong synergy, so some stuff just works out. But knowing some of those pressure strings and when to put that pressure on is always really critical too. But looks like up next we're gonna have Lucky Naegi versus Troggz here, our winners finals match.
Yep. This is a matchup that, like, if I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think I would have expected to see, like, at, like, honestly any point in my time, like, watching BB Tag, because Troggz, we've known them since the offline WNF days. They've been pretty well. They've been doing pretty solid. I know they showed up to a lot of WNFs, like, pre-rollback, but, you know, life happens. They can't unfortunately make it, but I'm glad to see Troggz being more active and just trying to improve themselves, also participating in TMN quite often as well. So it's nice to see them improve, and against someone like Lucky Naegi, who's been, at least to us, like, what I mean by us is like us at the WNF crew, is that, you know, we've known Lucky Naegi primarily through online events. So it's kind of a clash of two people that are pretty tenured at the game, but just we've been introduced to them at different time points in our, you know, as being witnesses of BB Tag.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Troggz, you know, like you mentioned, things happen, life happens. You got to go level up IRL sometimes, but it always seems like Troggz is trying to push forward and get better and better. And we've seen that now as a result. They're in winners finals here. Going to be fighting Lucky Naegi, trying to, secure that grand final spot. But I have to imagine Lucky Naegi not going to make it easy for them.
If you want me to play nice, I've got some
Yep.
bad news.
Especially with a team like Lucky Naegi's, I can't imagine they can kind of keep Troggz' team in check in a couple of ways, with some of the block strings with Akatsuki and Adachi, and just that instant trade on the round start, but unfortunately no whiff, and looks like Lucky tried to swing right there, but getting a cheeky little reset, and Troggz is just firing on all cylinders right now.
That's a cute setup, right? You spend that really early in the second interaction of a first of three. It's tricky, but it's paying off for them right now. And forced to burst in early, gonna be taking a lot of damage here on this Adachi.
I think Lucky is going to have a bit of a hard time against Troggz because, Lucky has some really quick buttons that they can just try and contest and try and get some pressure going, but unfortunately, especially with Troggz, with this Kizzsu being a really quick button, just being able to kind of match Lucky in terms of some of the pressure they want to employ.
Yeah, one of the challenges too that Lucky's gonna have to deal with is that BZO, as strong as it is, both these characters, Yuzuriha and Akihiko, have options against it, right? You can teleport behind, Akihiko can sway through the entirety of BZO and look super cool at the same time. Able to beat the DP this time, but just a button back, and Lucky Naegi firing back, gonna be able to get the 2 meter, has to burst out to stay alive.
Thankfully, just enough time for the burst kick to come out, but unfortunately, just that grab, they definitely wanted super. Trying to raw super, but unfortunately not working out. Good DP by Troggz, and just excellent work hitting the brakes on the pressure just at a moment's notice to take out the Akatsuki.
Stick to the same side this time. Troggz has been trying to sneaky in, be tricky, but just going to be barely enough with that EX dive. Going to be a take game one. Yuzuriha low life. We saw Akihiko low life at some point, but good, cycling of the characters and maintaining that health regen. Of course, red life is not life gone. Use it if you have it.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Just with a lot of Troggz' tenure is that they also just recognize how their characters are doing, and if they need to, it's like, hey, this character has a good amount of red health, might as well, play a little back or just try and keep the offense while my character that's healing in the back, or while my character in the back can. But we'll see how these next games go, because both that first game, even though Troggz won, it wasn't close, and it was definitely a slobber knocker that could have gone either way.
Absolutely, yeah. And, Troggz is really good at the round start interactions. I feel like if they're amazing at one thing, it's that. Just having a lot of different tools to answer round start against various teams. Akatsuki is strong, has beat Kizzsu, able to navigate the jump, but unfortunately going to get tagged by the assist at time.
Yeah, unfortunate scenario right there. But unfortunately, dropping the combo, and Troggz just trying to take some of that pressure back, getting a good amount of damage on the board. Hopefully can go into a good situation. Pressure's on. Trying to go for the tick though, but didn't believe in the confirm though.
I get a pick up there, but yeah, just able to button up out of there. And now Troggz on to solo Akihiko. Only level 2 resonance, but has a lot of meter to get things going. You're probably going to see a reset or something tricky coming up here. Cycle engages down now.
This is kind of the, what I'd like to call the flagship character of Troggz right now. We did see a comeback from them a couple of times earlier in this tournament, and starting to mount that, getting a good amount of damage on the board. Just catching out early just so that Lucky Naegi does not have a chance to burst, and getting crossed up right there.
One of the challenges too that Lucky Naegi is going to have to deal with is that, especially in Sway, right, you don't have a lot of big lows to deal with anything. Going to catch out the super, and that's going to be a kill. Good delays there to make sure to get that stabilization. No meter left here for Troggz, popping the resonance on both sides now. Next hit could be fatal. Finds the hit into the air, into the TK dive, and that's going to be enough. Troggz taking the advantage, 2-0.
Looking really good here. Yeah, and I feel like with the tempo that Troggz is playing, it's kind of throwing off Lucky Naegi pretty hard, because Lucky Naegi, especially with some of the people that they fly, it's just they don't really have a lot of solid buttons to kind of contest a good scramble situation. But with the way Troggz is playing, you know, it's I'd say this is like a showcase of tenure where Troggz has been ready for it, is prepared for a lot of these situations, and you know, they're up 2-0 for very good reasons. But Lucky Naegi bring a side team that I remember seeing them bring it out every now and then during a WNF for a Big 8, but just seeing if this maybe has a better answer to what Troggz is doing so far.
I like to think maybe Hakumen getting a little bit rewarded more off counter. You know, the counter super is really good. Yumi obviously really good in the close-up scramble with fast buttons, counter hit confirms, but just like that, Troggz able to win that interaction, forcing the burst early.
Troggz looking super good right now. Not getting a good amount of damage on the board, but yeah, that wake-up counter looks like we're going to get a good amount of mileage on it, and we have to see if Troggz is ready for the bomb.
Oh, goes for the low option this time, and unfortunately not quite able to beat the burst there. Hakumen is one of the solar characters. Oh my goodness, lets the counter super rip and hits.
Good bait on the burst, but unfortunately it wasn't able to get anything. Just gets caught on the way back with the 5B, but Troggz still looking good, still trying to fight out of it, but just pick up 5B. Really good option for Yumi, but just gets crossed up, thankfully, for Troggz, but not looking too good right now. Be careful. Long? No,
good DP. It's been mentioned before, but Lucky's wake-up options and just kind of weird pressure options are really strong, but an unfortunate super miss there. Oh, and letting the DP rip anyways. Troggz really trying to make the most out of the characters with this low life count.
Should be able to kill here. Yeah, just only me and level 4 Cyclone. All up to Soul Hakumen, but you know, they could just do a bust out super to ruin their day, but Troggz ready for it.
Yeah, ready for that DP counter. It worked a couple times, right? You got 2 or 3 of them, but it's not the only thing you can rely on, unfortunately. And Troggz going to be taking it 3-0 over Lucky Naegi. Going to be moving on to the grand finals. Lucky Naegi, of course, going to be waiting on our results from the next match coming up here, SSBSonic versus Advent. Both 2 really strong players and making a heck of a run here through loser side.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting so far. SSBSonic, unfortunately, yeah, going down to Lucky Naegi earlier in winter semis, but you know, getting I would well, it's a run back either way for either characters, but getting another dub against Kizzsu in losers quarters. As I mentioned before, that was 2nd and 3rd place respectively in the first PSN beginner bracket. So it's kind of interesting to see that Kizzsu went down comparatively earlier than last time we saw them. But go up against Advent, who's a new face in this bracket. You know, I'm curious to see how they'll do against someone like SSBSonic, because SSBSonic has some really good things going for them in terms of their general rotation, how they conduct pressure and offense. But Advent has been showing a lot of promise with this team. You know, just really explosive. Just, you know, 2 touch of death for either character, but just still looking good. I'm really curious to see how this is going to go.
Yeah, I mean, again, like we've mentioned before, the Susano'o Yumi, just such a strong team in terms of damage output, but having to navigate the Ruby buttons is always critical, but looks like it's not even going to be a factor quite yet. This Yang just slopping all over Susano'o, forcing the burst really early.
Already a good amount of damage on the board, and the pressure's already on, but a nice jump out, but still, just the oppression session going on right now. And Advent Chaos looking a little worse for wear right now. Yumi going to be in a one-set situation.
Quite dead yet, forcing the burst, and yeah, unfortunately not quite enough to punish, wasn't quite ready for it, but setting up the sandwich situation anyways and finding the hit.
Looking pretty good. Yeah, and they've been getting a lot of miles off of that, calling out the upbacks from their opponents with that 214C. It is an anti-air command grab. Working out super nicely and also slow Susano'o, but only level 2 resonance. Just needs... Oh my goodness, this could be the start of something beautiful for them.
This is so much damage. 4 meters available too. I'm just gonna cash it out right away. 10k, and all of a sudden, you know, that was 20k worth of damage. Even the biggest of boys got killed there, but just going for the slow cross up there with the J with semblance can be able to take it. Very scary scenario for SSBSonic. You know, that happy birthday could have been life or death, but able to find the answer.
really nice work by them. SSBSonic just being able to stabilize even after just, as you mentioned, something as scary as that. But we'll see how Advent can make some adjustments. They did lose the Yumi early on, so they weren't able to play the team game that well. So hopefully they can maintain it a little better this time, but unfortunately just getting bonked on the head by that JV. Not looking too good for them in opening moments.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, Susano'o doesn't have that great of anti-air options, right? The DP, the system mechanic DP is pretty small, right? It's more of a reversal option. And even the 2B, it's forward advancing, right? So sometimes it just misses entirely on jump in. So force respect here on the sandwich. And I've been able to find the hit, but forcing the burst anyways. Sonic able to stay alive.
Nice air confirm. Got a good amount of damage on it, all things considered. But just SSBSonic just maintaining the pressure, but this is I've been trying to get something started, but unfortunately just a little bit of a drop right there, but still really solid life lead, still trying to make something happen.
Give up this cross combo pressure, is able to find that 6P and blocking the DP. This is likely a dead Yang spending the super here. Oh, just a little bit too early, I think. Yang's gonna live with the semblance buff.
We're seeing live solid defense, and yeah, just bursting out, not wanting to deal with any of that anymore. Just get the Ruby in as safely as possible. And this could be the start of something for SSBSonic, trying to get the pressure going. JC successful. Yeah, just didn't want to risk losing the Yumi in this 2v2, but this is why SSBSonic likes to. This is their comfort zone.
Able to find these hits here, slowly trying to tie up this life count, but that Yumi 6P able to tag Ruby, but not quite able to fully confirm. Again, just these assists saving the characters both times. Oh, and now the Yang down two, so it's a 2v1. Sonic ripping the resonance really early here, recognizing I need the life, I need the meter, whatever happens, but a God Press able to close it out anyways, Advent tying it up 1-1.
Nice work by Advent. A pretty scrabbly situation at the tail end there, but able to stabilize it. And I think it's kind of funny how things just kind of turned out. I think Advent hasn't really been too trigger happy on the command grabs just because Kizzsu kind of just established, hey, that's not going to work against me. So they haven't been using that often, but they did use it in their set against Troggz, and they use it to close out the game. So hopefully, they smell blood in the water and we'll use it more often. Let's see how SSBSonic reacts.
Absolutely, it's a tool you gotta find and use in the toolbox, especially when you have that advantage. You can give it a test, see if it works out. Looks like they were able to get the hit, but now that plan has been revealed, maybe Sonic's a little bit more aware of trying to just maintain that up back pressure. And a lot of this air pressure too is also really critical in trying to fight Ruby. Of course, she does have pretty good buttons here, and if you don't have quite the anti-air to answer it, sometimes you gotta go to the skies.
Excellent defense. That's been cracking the domes all night, but Advent doing a really good job reacting to that JC from Ruby, and able to get some pressure of their own now. Good defense on that JC. There's people that we know that would be able to that would probably get opened up on that time.
Got hit like 4 times in that interaction, but somehow Sonic able to navigate not only the God Press setup, but able to maintain this corner pressure. Oh yeah, bursting that JC is always a little tricky, very vertical, and depending on what your burst type is, sometimes just whiffs entirely. Right now, SSBSonic cashing out all this damage available, finding another JC hit in the corner. Has 4 meters to get things going though.
Oh my god, I can't believe the 5B carry confirmed, but unfortunately didn't believe in it. Yeah, we'll be losing Susano'o for that. Unfortunate.
Yeah, tagging out the Ruby too, super critical. She's low on life, so probably gonna see this pseudo 1v1 every so often. And the 4 Yumi out of the sky has a lot of damage available. This should be enough as long as we keep it into a simple cross combo distortion extension here.
Should be enough here. And yeah, there's going to be curtains. SSBSonic taking it, or getting a second game on the board, 2-1 over Advent. Will need one more to earn their right to get their run back against a lucky Naegi.
This 2-1 advantage, always a scary situation to be in. But, you recognizing that you have the team to do it. You got the game won. Just need to get 2 more. It's not too far away. Just pretend as if it's the first at 2. And don't lose, right? Has the damage to do it.
Yeah. We'll see if Advent can make some adjustments and using the what we like to call the YI auto at the beginning of the match, just to try and call out, because I believe that is a 7-frame special, so it can call out a lot of the quicker round stuff.
Yeah, multi-hitting too, so it's pretty easy to hit confirm into an assist call out or something like that. Oh, able to hit that shoulder tackle, start a counter hit starter, and forced to burst. Not able to punish though.
Good navigation. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get a confirm out that counter hit, and going for a pretty sneaky grab in that little bit of a scramble situation there. And SSBSonic, again, this is their favorite place to be, the comfort zone against their opponent, and just maintaining the oppression right now.
So tricky. I do want to highlight, like you mentioned, the sneaky throw, right? Threatening the left-right mix-up is so critical, and then just going for a throw for an easy combo, you never expect that coming in. Finding the super here from SSBSonic, not going to be quite enough to get the kill on the Yumi, but I was going to have to guess and find the DP, trying to escape somehow.
Susano'o was able to get in safely, but it's still not looking too good for Advent right now, but that is a good opening. It's a 4A star, so not as much damage as one would like, but still, you know, this damage right here is higher than some other characters' average damage in general, so by no means a net negative for Advent.
So good blockable land shark there, but Rumi have plenty of life here. Trying to get this going here. Advent trying to tie this up. Gonna send the super anyways. Not punished, unfortunately. Yeah, very tricky to punish. Have to push block and find the throw to get the kill. Now all of a sudden we're down to a half-life Susano'o.
Oh no. Excellently timed push block. Won't be a kill just quite yet, especially because they have no meter on the board, but one-touch situation for Advent to stay alive in this bracket. Has level 4 resistance, they gotta use it right now.
So tricky to guess here in this scenario, right? You got two characters trying to figure out an answer, but, you know, able to escape relatively scot-free, has 6 meters to start spending on sword, whatever needed to get done, but, you know, not a lot of resources available here from SSBSonic, but able to bait the DP. Huge amounts of damage coming up here. Susano'o is a healthier character, though.
Yeah. ATK character, but those run-up grabs have been really good for SSBSonic, and, you know, they smelled blood in the water, just kept showcasing that they're willing to use grab, especially because they've been getting opened up by it. And SSBSonic taking it 3-1 over Advent, earning their ticket into losers finals, and will be getting their run back against Lucky Naegi.
Absolutely, and you know, last time it was Lucky Naegi going up 3-0 against SSBSonic, so you know, SSB on a bit of a terror right now, going 3-1 against Kizzsu and then 3-1 against Advent here. So we'll see if they had some time to think about the matchup a little bit, what kind of decisions they need to make to kind of change things up. From what I remember, at least, like there was a couple games there in winter side where it's like, oh, could have went the other way, right? But you know, Lucky Naegi showing the strength and continual pressure that they have, right? Like you mentioned, they're kind of the shark of the bracket at times, or you know, even in, and I mean this in the most affectionately possible way, like the toll road boss, right? I'm one of those, right? You must be this good to pass through the bracket type deal.
Yeah, and I think from what I remember, Mito, when they were organizing stuff and had their vision for these brackets, this was what they wanted, because yeah, they wanted primarily beginners and intermediates, but they also so I know they wanted equal skill level, but there was also the intention of, hey, these are some of the players that you will face at, they're not tournament winners, but they do fairly well in even just, open brackets. So these are the people that you are most likely going to run into in the future. So it's kind of, it's like you said, it's that toll road boss, and it's also just kind of a vibe check to some of the beginner players, just to see where they are and where they stand as players.
Ooh, yeah, and being able to have that strength to kind of overcome these strong players is super critical in the bracket format. But right now we're getting started here. SSBSonic, of course, locking in the Yang Ruby, and then Lucky Naegi locking in the Akatsuki Adachi.
Fortune drop right there, but SSBSonic looking a lot better comparatively to where having a match with Lucky Naegi winner side went. And getting the pressure going, but all it takes is just one good hit from Lucky Naegi for them to get their party started.
Pressure up and able to tag out the Adachi, or tag in the Adachi relatively safely too. Akatsuki really good at using that parry to just say, get off me, not worried about the throws anymore. Ruby in some danger here, but able to escape just barely. Oh, trying to...
good so far. And yeah, just that reversal of fortune, just that one hit that Lucky Naegi needed to just keep maintaining, just turn the momentum in their favor really quickly. Looking good so far. Not punishing that whip by B again, but by no means is SSBSonic out of it, because Yang has been historically putting in a lot of work for SSBSonic so far, and will be killing off the Akatsuki all up to a 1v1 now.
You had a good run.
Yeah, still very scary, right? You got the mids all finding the 5B pressure, getting things started. Resonance about to end here for SSBSonic. Level 2 Resonance, though, for Lucky Naegi, so not a lot of meter, but still able enough to kind of bully this Yang and keep her out with the AZO super speed cancels.
Yeah, just using that really large JB to make something happen and just get down Mr. President with the Persona, just blocking the projectile for them and being able to get like a pretty unique punish on the board, and that allows her to take the first game in the set.
I mean, we saw it a couple times too, unfortunately, with the Adachi, right, using the 236C in the air, stuck in that pause animation. But in this case, it definitely worked out in their favor. Able to absorb the firecracker, taking that game 1.
Yeah, like Persona normals or even like Persona specials are always a double-edged sword, because you could have some pretty eccentric interactions like that, and you can get favorable interactions like that. But there's also some times where it's more common than not that there's interactions where you're just a sitting duck while your persona is just going.
Just like that, again, trying to punish that parry there, but able to escape just barely. Akatsuki already down to half life though, so gotta be a little worried about doing the counter call for the assists, and able to start this pressure here with the cross combo sandwich.
Yeah, just stayed still for that moment, but got opened up regardless. But Lucky Naegi trying to make something happen. Oh, the firecracker took out the persona, so they didn't have to deal with the BZO. But just getting opened up with a grab, and again, Lucky Naegi is someone who just really thrives off of momentum, and this could be the pivotal point that they needed.
Went for the throw this time. Oh, into reset, trying to set up something sneaky. Again, good on the Ruby calls every time. They're so ready for it. Immediate button too. Just a challenge.
Yeah, and because of Lucky Naegi's insistence on pressing a button after a parry, we see SSBSonic just kind of, whenever they're able to just run up with an assist, it's just they hit the brakes right at the start, because they know that Lucky's able to just press afterwards and maintain the pressure.
It's a tricky scenario, trying to get the cross up low, finding the hit, but yeah, tried to super, but unfortunately got the throw due to the burst animation, and getting that tag there. Regardless, Naegi not out of it yet.
Just a brief moment of relaxation between the two, and just a raw fight be in their face, and that should be a dead Yang.
Absolutely has all the meter to cash out. I like that approach too. Just, put the pressure on. Oh wait, I'm out of gas here. I'm gonna back up, take a bite of the pop tart, chill out. Let you come to me and get the kill. Lucky Naegi looking pretty good in this 2v1 scenario, but of course SSBSonic has plenty of life, finding the hit into the immediate super to answer back and get a kill of their own.
You had a good run.
So Adachi in a one-touch situation. Not looking too good for them right now, but excellent reaction and block the JC. A lot of people have been getting opened up by that recently, but Lucky Naegi staying solid, but unfortunately not going down just quite yet, but definitely very close.
That astral now, it's about to go away though. Yeah, command grab, trying to trick something, but right now life advantage definitely in SSBSonic's favor, but we do have a lot of resources for Lucky Naegi. We are in rampage time too, so meter is gaining every second as we advance forward. We're just trying to find an answer here, but both players playing really passive, just trying to play to the skies, finding the hit. Lucky Naegi getting this hit and the kill, going up 2-0 versus SSBSonic.
Yeah, this is there's just so many pivotal moments, unfortunately, for SSBSonic where they just can't close out the games. And again, I just want to highlight just some of the tenure, and I want to say a bit of those nerves of steel from Lucky Naegi, just being able to stay really composed in these tight situations. And I feel like, especially in that last game, they're up 2-0 because of it.
It's definitely that, like you mentioned, the tournament nerves and just being hardened to scenarios like that, saying, okay, I've been in worse scenarios, as long as I just don't get hit, I can't lose, right? And just finding those kills where it matters. Of course, it is disheartening to see you lose that advantage. You have all the meter, but somehow your opponent's still able to sneak away. You can't be disheartened by that. You just have to pretend, okay, you know, it's a first to 3, but I just can't lose anymore, and just try to lock in, believing in your team, and you've gotten this far. You can keep going further if you need to.
Yeah. Let's see what kind of adjustments SSBSonic will make in these brackets. I think they're just a slip away from being able to take in Lucky Naegi, but that unfortunate burst. Hopefully they're able to stay composed, but unfortunately that's deadly.
Yeah, this is so much damage. Doing another, you know, single hit super with the distortion duo coming up here, and starting off with no life lost on Lucky's side. That's tough, but we've seen big comebacks here in this set so far. Maybe it's time for SSB to have one of their own.
Very much could be a thing. Hopefully they can make something happen, and that could be the start of something beautiful with that whiffed JB on Akatsuki's end. But slowly making the way happen. Level 1 Residence, not the most ideal situation to be in, but you know, you play with the cards you were dealt, and hopefully they can make something happen. Just that little bit of a backwards shimmy between the two, and SSBSonic not looking too great right now.
Answers, but unfortunately, you know, the way the pressure Yang has, she doesn't have a lot of options, so you can just kind of block it out a little bit and just wait for the command grab. But finding the hit with the armor and the semblance is a good start, but definitely still an uphill battle, saving that resonance for when they need it the most.
Good DP, but just trying to stop some of the pressure, because it's just time for SSBSonic to party, but unfortunately just not enough. Too little too late, and Lucky Naegi taking it 3-0 over SSBSonic. It's booking their ticket back into grand finals on the loser side, but has earned their right to get their run back against Troggz.
Yeah, and you know, we saw this in winners finals, right? Troggz was able to take it 3-0 over Lucky Naegi, but by no means was it a blowout in any sense of the way. I don't think we've really seen many blowouts at all this whole tournament, right? They could have definitely gone either way on these games, but you know, Lucky Naegi maybe gonna try to use some of that fuel that they've used against SSBSonic and see if they can reset the bracket here versus Troggz. Troggz, of course, representing the Akihiko Kizzsu as well. It's been doing really well for them so far, able to make it this far. We'll see if they stick with it. They do have some other teams available. Maybe try to trick them up a little bit and see if they're able to pull one over on Lucky.
Yeah, it's really interesting because Troggz, by technicality, has 5 games to play with, because in grand finals there's someone on the winner side and someone on the loser side, and the person on the loser side has to win 2 3 out of 5 sets. They have to beat them in a 3 out of 5 to send them to quote unquote the loser side of the bracket, and they have to beat them again. So hopefully or with that in mind, Troggz, as I mentioned, has a couple of games to play with, so like maybe they could bust out the Adachi Heart that we were talking about, or maybe even the Akihiko Yumi if they really want to. They have a lot available to them, and you know, if it gets to the point where maybe, hey, let's say they you know, Lucky Naegi takes a few games, they have a couple of teams they can cycle through to really just keep Lucky Naegi on their feet.
Absolutely. And you know, it's such a difference too in the type of pressure, right? Like Akihiko, of course, very grounded oriented, has a lot of left-right mix, but Heart just taken to the skies, has that invincibility you have to deal with the back homing and all that pressure. But right now, we're going to see the Akihiko and the Kizzsu. You know, it's worked so far, worked in the winner's side finals, so we'll see if it keeps going for them.
Starting off with a really strong round start that has been working out super well for Troggz throughout the entire night so far. Just that corkscrew with the 6P in the background, just really good, and it also beats some of the 8-frame round starts, so it has a lot of uses that just counters so much.
Finding the parry on the assist again. Lucky has been so good about calling out any sort of those projectile style parries. Oh, there's another parry, but so lucky that Adachi was there to just body block for him.
Fortunate first on Yuzu's end, but Akihiko will be living to see another day, and Lucky Naegi looking really good in these opening moments. Gets opened up by the 5 seed. Troggz not ready for it. Do it again. Spend the meter one more time as well, and just like that, all up to Akihiko.
There's that parry again, setting up the advantage, setting up the sandwich too, no less. Blockable could be a factor too. Oh my goodness. Trade you punches for punches. Be a lot of damage. And actually, is this enough to kill? It is single target. Oh, so close.
Akihiko is in fact a big boy. He is an 18k health character, so just that advent alone was able to allow him to stay alive for just a bit longer, but unfortunately, Lucky Naegi getting one on the board.
Yeah, really strong options. Starting to play a little bit more aggressive on defense, right? Having, we've seen them have like very definitive answers in pressure, right? But it's not only that, hey, I have an answer against your aggression. It's I'm taking my turn back against your aggression, and it's working out.
Yeah. So hopefully Troggz can make some adjustments because they were doing really well in the when they first encountered in this bracket. So hopefully they're able to just maintain some of that pressure and vary things up a little because as we've seen, Lucky Naegi is really trigger happy against Akatsuki DP on assist, so hopefully they're able to have some kind of counter.
I think push block early there, but then able to burst out pretty relatively safely. Now Troggz trying to answer back some of this pressure. Akatsuki's been doing a really good job at finding these placements and setting up these throw scenarios where it's really advantageous for them. But Troggz able to find a way out.
Getting a interesting little dive cross up right there, and Troggz able to take some damage on the board and just taste of your own medicine with the 5C. Getting a solo Marvelous as well. Getting opened up. Unfortunately, not ready for the burst. Oh no! Trigger 2 has little 2 trigger happy on the DP, and it's all to solo Yuzuriha.
Yuzuriha has plenty of life here though, has 5 meters, level 3 residence, so still not out of it yet. Just, if you can get the pin down on the Akatsuki there really early, it'd be really helpful. But cashing out the super meter 2 is also really good. You just need like 1 or 2 more hits and might be enough to kill.
Oh no, a little too far for the connect, but thankfully able to get a solid whiff and just the gun, the 2-3-6 in the stance, working out really nicely, and just now Lucky Naegi's backing is against the wall.
Yep, gonna go for just a raw 6A to challenge the Yuzuriha. Has all this meter, has the buff available, so gonna be doing some extra damage here. Of course, Troggz not out of it yet. Gonna go for the resonance, try to get some of that life back, sending the Blicky out in response, but a super gonna be able to take it. Getting lucky, 2-0 versus Troggz.
Looking super good, and yeah. One of the things about Lucky Naegi that I've noticed in a lot of these sets is that they don't want to respect some of the pressure that they want to employ. Some of the active switch, like long active switch setups, like with SSBSonic with their Ruby 236B, just parrying through that, or even situations like that where they also recognize that Yuzuriha's like teleport slashes are not airtight, so just Troggz wanted to try and make something happen and just call it out saying, no, you can't do that around here. I got 2 meter and I'm going to kill you for it.
It goes back to those definitive answers on defense, right? Like, not only is it, oh, I know the way around your pressure, it's I'm going to blow up your pressure too with a lot of damage, and it's working out. With disadvantage 2-0, but Troggz going for the character switch into hard Adachi, so we do see the Adachi mirror. Oh, and calling out that 5P is a really strong start.
It's definitely, it feels like a match of which Adachi can facilitate their progress a bit better, because they're just swinging for the fences right now.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the challenges too Lucky's gonna have to deal with now is that as good of an assist Adachi 6P is, Heart is super mobile, right, and can kind of overtake and avoid it as quick as possible. Can use the back homing too to go through it as well, but right now Lucky getting this corner pressure.
Looking good so far. Just again, that momentum that Lucky Naegi needs to just really call something out here. Oh no, yeah, just like a bit of a get down Mr. President moment because of the super just stopping dead attacks of Akatsuki and letting the BZO rip, and unfortunately will be losing their heart for that.
Forced to spend all the meter though, so there is a little consolation prize there, but right now Troggz facing down a barrel of a gun here from this Adachi. It's a 1v2, has only 1 bar here, level 3 residence, so can make something happen here, but gonna be a little tricky here.
Unfortunately, getting crossed up right there, and it looks like that might be curtains. Just going to cross raid, just killing them off, and yeah, just like that, 3-0 sweep, getting at least half of their revenge by resetting the bracket.
You know, now it's 3-3 effectively, but you know, one of the challenges too, I think what happened in that switch to heart, right, is going for that wake up super, trying to go for the rush punch. One of the challenges of it is it's kind of unique to heart, where if the super connects with something, it's done having a hitbox. You don't get a lot of multi-hit options off of it unless the characters are right on top of each other. But, you know, looks like Troggz does believe in the pick and just going to try to go for a little bit of character unfamiliarity, recognizing that maybe the last game wasn't it. And, you know, just say, okay, I'll brush it off. We're in reset. Maybe I'm trying to have a little bit of fun with heart here and put up the pressure with this aggressive zoning. So we're getting into it with the grand finals reset. Troggz versus Lucky Naegi.
I entrust my back to you.
Can't escape from crossing fate. Fight!
Starting up this pressure really strong here, trying to make things happen here with the Bitatsu, of course. Heart able to challenge a lot of these options that Akatsuki has available. And yeah, altering the trajectory with the homing is always critical. Trying to go for some trickier stuff. But unfortunately, again, that parry is a really strong option to deal with a lot of the pressure. Finding these hits, using that back homing is always a great option to have here. Trying to use the meter cancels too to just kind of extend damage too. Does reset some of that priority in terms of damage scaling. Good block there. Oh no, DPing the DP. You hate to see it. This is going to be all unversatile too. Has 3 meters. Start cashing out some damage too. But it is definitely a next hit kill scenario for Heart. Trying to find a way out. Fortunately, that BZO, have to imagine maybe a throw is coming up here, some sort of challenge, trying to make things happen. Another 5C, and now you gotta have that mental game. There's another one coming out. Looks like it's not quite yet. Just gonna block it out, recognizing they have the lead and finding the hit. Able to get the burst punish too, sacrificing the heart instead. You know, believing in Adachi's stronger character too, so might be enough, but again, not a lot of resources available. Only level 3 resonance again, but has 5 bars. Cash out that resonance going into the cross combo too, just to waste the time a little bit. Finds the BZO into the 5Z. Could have killed, but unfortunately, you know, getting saved by that 5C with the hard knockdown. And Troggz just trying to find some sort of answer, but Bitatsu is so strong in this matchup too. Able to call out those buttons from Troggz. Lucky Naegi going up 1-0 in the series on this reset.
The blitz motor hasn't run this hot in some time.
Have to think it over, think about your options. You do have other characters available to you, of course. You got the Yumi, you got maybe some other secret hidden weapon. I think I've seen Troggz play Izuyoi maybe once in their life, and I don't know, maybe sticking to the skies is a cool thing, but this is a strong team, right? You got the Adachi, you got the Akatsuki. Both strong, high damage characters, and yeah, there it is. We're seeing the Yumi, we're seeing all the characters come out now. Just try to get this pressure going here. Somehow, he does have a lot of strong options here in round start with the dash punch, and Yumi able to cover a lot of options too.
Warm-ups are over. Let's go.
Just get this
Sorry
shit
about that.
done.
I'm guessing this is Trogg's last-ditch effort to just try and make something happen.
Can't escape from crossing fate.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's 1-0. I'm not sure actually, but I thought it was 1-0. But maybe another game went by really quick. But right now, Troggz is able to make some party times happen, having the blue colors too.
Yeah, this is a team that I know they've been working on their Yuzu like Akihiko recently, but this is a team that they were, especially during offline locals, was bringing out a lot, and it brought them a good amount of success as well.
Yeah, able to find the hit, and you know, able to get the quick kill on Akatsuki too is, I think, super critical in trying to reverse these things. And you know, I think this is almost a dead character going for the unblockable too, just to kind of emphasize this game here on game 2 in this reset, tying it up.
It seems that conflict is unavoidable.
Looking good so far, and yeah, I think this is the. I mean, evidently with how grand finals before the reset went, I think this is a team that they got to stick with to bring them victory. I mean, it worked out really well, just able to steamroll super well, especially with, I'd say arguably Yumi has a, well, at least for me, Yumi has a much stronger assist kit than Yuzu, and just is able to hold their own comparatively, especially in terms of general offense, better than Yuzu. So hopefully this is something that's successful.
Yeah, not only is it a better assist kit, right, or in terms of like flexibility, right, it's a lot more damage available too. Having the aerial raid and able to do some unscaled damage there is always a really good option. But of course, like Naegi able to answer the anti-air, kind of a slower one from Akihiko, so using the JB is always a good start.
All defense by Troggz so far, trying to keep the pressure up, but just not ready for the beat Tatsu, but just able to get out, but not looking too good for Troggz right now.
Going for the side switch, but yeah, unfortunately the drop off the 5 AAA, so able to survive a little bit here, forced to block and find the throw anyways. Troggz in a bit of trouble here. A lot of resources available from Lucky Naegi. A lot of life too that you have to fight through. What the heck happened there?
Yeah, a little bit of a weird interaction, but Troggz comes out on top, but Yumi's bleeding, Akihiko's at about half health. Has to mount a pretty significant comeback here. But not looking too good for Troggz at the moment. Try to go for something, but the health difference, meter difference, and just like trade on the 5B and Akihiko will be going down here.
Luckily, we still got Yumi in the back. Strong character, has some resources available. Aerial raid is still a threat with just damage. A lot of life to chew through. Only level 2 resonance, so trying to find these hits. A 5A is a good start, but force to burst really early. But again, Troggz able to find the answer with the anti-air. Pushing this pressure. Now you got to worry about this JC corner steal sometimes.
And the pressure up, I feel like Troggz got to be a little careful because with the amount of damage that both these characters can have, it's definitely a one-touch situation for them. Yeah, just pop resist right now, get some meter, try to get some chip on the board just to make something happen. Oh no! This gets clocked by the JA and that should be curtains.
Yeah, just barely able to build the assist gauge. Gonna go for the command grab anyways, but not quite dead yet. Oh, I just called the DP anyways, just to maintain that safe pressure. Set up the BZO, kind of put him up in a checkmate. Lucky Naegi going up 2-1. Versus Troggz, 1 game away from taking the whole tournament after this reset too.
Yeah, looking super good. Troggz maybe thinking about it a little bit, but ultimately, I think this is the right play to stick with the Yumi, especially against characters like Adachi and Akatsuki. There's going to be a lot of scramble situations, and I feel like Yumi can fight their way out of some of the more wild situations that this team can put you in. So hopefully they're able to make something happen. Unfortunately, Akihiko did go down there first and comparatively early, so hopefully they're able to just, again, maintain that 2v2 better this time.
Yeah, one of the challenges too, and in all fighting games, right, is trying to deal with how many interactions you have. With a player like Lucky Naegi, who's very good on defense and really good at challenging your pressure approaches. There's that sway, but gonna get blown up anyways. You have to find a way to make your interactions happen in a meaningful way and find a lot of damage. And having this Yumi's a good option, but it's unfortunately not gonna be quite enough here yet. Those pulls were able to blow up a lot of this pressure.
Oh no, just calling out the grab once again. And Lucky Naegi looking super good and poised to take this whole thing, but we'll be getting a good amount of damage on Yumi, but not looking too good. And yeah, just, right back at you with some of these just bust out super.
It's gonna be dead Akatsuki, so, all of a sudden, Troggz showing one of those definitive answers on defense too, saying, hey, you might die here. Finding the 5A anyways. This is starting to look like something good here for Troggz. Has a lot of resources available still. Has cross combo as an option to try to set up another kill. Goes for the throw this time. Into the dive.
Oh my god, that was just a quick draw event essentially. I don't think this will be a kill just quite yet. Yeah, just opting for the DP, just trying to get the pressure on the board. What's out super just to try and risk it all, but unfortunately not working out. And we're going to a final game here.
My goodness, yeah, again, we see Lucky trying to answer that defense with offense, but, Troggz starting to be a little bit more aware of the options Lucky has available and putting them in those scenarios where, hey, I'm going to make you take that risk and I'm ready for it this time. But going to game 5, it seems like this team switch might be the answer. But of course, Lucky Naegi, really strong player, so they're not quite done yet. They have a lot of options available on deck, have a lot of ways to kind of navigate. They did get the 3-0 on the reset, so it could go either way.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see how this all accumulates. Everything just everything is condensed into this one play because it is again last round. So let's see just the data acquired from both sides and who comes out on top.
Go for a sway immediately to challenge any sort of pressure. Able to punish the first right away. Troggz is starting to see through the challenges Lucky's been giving him into a throw reset. This could be curtains for Akatsuki right here. Has all the meter available.
Not quite, but definitely one such situation. A little scary, and oh my goodness, ended up on the other side somehow. Yeah, just Calvin looking super good here. Just getting as much momentum as they can, keeping the pressure up. Oh no, I don't imagine they wanted a 2-3-6 right there. And the reversal of fortune, Naegi's getting some momentum on their side all of a sudden.
This corner too, not a lot of resources though. We're back down to 1 meter piece, so push block is kind of getting snuffed out here too. It's a very good option on defense. Akihiko, so you got to be ready for it. Gonna go for the sways again, but able to get blown up.
Oh no, interesting. Just didn't parry that last part because that's one of the weird things about Yumi is that 6P just like the snowbirds get spread out further, like the farther you travel across the screen. But Lucky Naegi getting some pressure on the board. Yumi not looking too great right now, just a sliver away from red.
Again, chucking those snowbirds, just trying to keep that persona off of them, trying to find these hits. Another snowbird to get the hit, unable to avoid the burst. And again, Troggz trying to suss out this Akatsuki pressure. The parries are a good answer, but just able to beat it out with that fast normal, and all of a sudden, Lucky's down to just the Adachi.
Oh no, yeah, this is a little scary here because it should just be like a raw zeal into super, and that'll be the end of Yumi right there. All up to Akihiko. I'd say one such situation for Adachi or Akihiko at this point, but not looking too good. Actually, that might be enough.
So critical counter hit start, has all this meter available to cash out, finds the hit, and gonna find the kill. Lucky Naegi gonna take it. 3-2 winning Cram Session Extend number 2 for the PlayStation Network.
Excellent work to Lucky Naegi, just showing, you know, they are just some of the, as we saw with both these players, just that tenure, those nerves of steel that really just came in clutch and was able to just close out the entire tournament, especially with how convincing it was in grand finals, and then in the reset just took it just legitimately off the skin of their teeth. So excellent work to them. But again, to round out the top 3 here, we have Lucky Naegi in first, Troggz in second, and SSBSonic in third. Excellent work to everyone, and it was just, you know, I think BB Tag's future is positive because if these are like the beginners and intermediates of the scene right now, then like I can definitely see them doing super well when they decide they have, you know, the courage and the grit to join some of the more open brackets like, you know, WNF or Big A. So really excited and really nice to see them, and I hope to see them not only just in some of these beginner brackets, but you know some of the tournaments that we have available to us overall.
Yeah, absolutely, and even extending it beyond the online scene, right? We still have BB Tag running at offline events. You know, Kraken Atkins recently announced that we are going to have it at EVO as a side event, and I was checking the schedule. I think we're going to be the last game on Sunday. So BB Tag traditionally at EVO has always been the first game on Sunday. So it's, you know, it's kind of poetic that we've risen up and we're the last game. I think it starts at like 3 p.m. or something. So for you geezers out there, you can still get to bed on time. But, you know, I definitely recommend you guys, if you see BB Tag at your events, sign up, play it. It's always a good time and kind of make those friendships last through your locals and online.
Yeah, it's always a good time, and I just want to say as well, you know, thank you to Midori and the Intertwined Fates crew for hosting this kind of stuff, because it's really nice. As I mentioned earlier in this bracket, it's just really nice to see just all, like, especially with how old the game is, that there's still an active player base, and there's people that are so interested in wanting to pick up the game in general, and just giving a place for these beginners to just feel comparatively a lot more comfortable in a tournament and just kind of able to flourish in these types of events rather than some of the more Shark Tank brackets that we see on a weekly basis. So it's really nice that there's just a place for them to facilitate growth and just find a rival, find a good motivation to continue playing and learning and growing for a game that's 7 years old. There's been games that have released like after BB Tag that don't really have comparatively as big of an active scene or people really pushing for growth like these kinds of tournaments. So it's really nice to see this all come together. So hats off to Midori and the IF team for just making all of this happen.
We appreciate you guys for coming on. Ever since we ended the stream earlier, I've had a lot of time to think. I think, for a lack of a better term, I am incredibly happy with both how that went earlier and how this is going right now. This bracket was one hell of a nail biter, if I had to put it in any sort of term. I could name 3 matches off the top of my head that I was like glued to my seat on watching. All of them were really good. One of them that stood out to me the most was Adamant versus Kizzsu. I don't have a little bit of bias versus Kizzsu, but that match in particular, they just displayed a lot of interesting ways of going about playing their teams in ways I hadn't considered before. And that's something I really appreciate about beginner brackets, is that even if there are resources out there for characters and people to learn how to go about things and really set things off properly, there's still innovation to be had, and all these new people with fresh ideas are the best way of going about it sometimes, and they did a great job. I can't wait to see how the next bracket is going to go. Unfortunately, due to personal reasons, we're not going to be having a PC bracket at the same time in 2 weeks from now. We'll be hosting it about a month from now, I believe. I'll have to get back to you on the time, but this will be our last bracket for a little while until I'm able to start hosting things again. But I'm really thankful that it went the way that it did tonight. I want to first thank my commentators for doing a fantastic job, Dave and E30. I know I've already had E30 on here before, but Dave did great as well. WNF crew, always a pleasure to work with. If you're interested in checking out WNF, by the way, they host plenty of BB Tag brackets as well. Every Wednesday, they are running a bracket that rotates between PSN and PC. I believe we have the banner up here as well if you're interested about these streams and whatnot that aren't here. And you can go ahead and check them out whenever possible. Dave is a very prominent commentator for Granblue. I don't have his page on hand, but if you are interested, go ahead and check out his Twitter. He does a lot for both scenes, and I couldn't be more appreciative for all the work that he puts in. And most of all, thank you for all the players that came out to really just enjoy the game that they love. And thank you to everyone that came by for the stream to watch all these new players come by, see the new talent and how they're growing, and supporting Intertwining Fates. I was genuinely considering taking a break that wasn't forced after this, but after seeing all the love and support that I've been given, that we've been given from the community, I can't help but feel a little moved by that, and I want to do my best for you all. We all do. So we're going to keep this up as much as we can. We're going to keep improving, and we're going to keep showing everyone what we're made of. But with that being said, we're going to call off for the night. We're going to make sure that it goes well when we do come back, and we will see you all later. Do you and either of you have any closing thoughts?
I mean, I'm gonna be at Evo, so I'll be hanging out by the BB Tag area. If you guys see me, I am gonna be the guy wearing the hard spark hoodie. So come say hi. Let's get some games. Let's chat. Granblue, BB Tag. I play Nitro Plus too. What the hell? I'll play whatever.
I don't really have much to say other than thank you, Mito, for making all this happen. And the support is definitely warranted. The love and support is definitely warranted. I just have one question for you. Do you want me to close this out?
Sure, you earned it.
All right. So thanks again for tuning in. This is Cram Session Extend, the PSN Beginner Bracket number 2. Unfortunately, in 2 weeks, the next one will happen in about a month, so be sure to keep an eye out on the PC side of things. So thanks again for tuning in. But as per usual, all good things must come to an end. So for now, stay safe, stay beautiful, drink your water, tell your friends and family you love them, but most importantly, shout outs to Midori. Have a good night, y'all.
Have a great night.
Take care.